Shaun, coffee talk time. How's it going this morning, Shaun? You look like you're got a really, really low chair there.
I do. I kind of like this is my low rider chair, man. I like to sit back and relax a little bit on this beautiful morning here in South Dakota.
It is a beautiful morning. It's been unusually warm here. We're thankful for global warming here in South Dakota. It's been
Amen.
unusually, except it's kind of screwing with our plans to go our plans to go snowmobiling, Shaun.
Yeah, it sure is, man. I think we'll be waiting a couple months before we do that.
Yeah, kind of a bummer. We like to do that. Well, I mean, ever since Thanksgiving, I mean, I guess we haven't been on Coffee Talk ever since Thanksgiving, Shaun. Coming back from Thanksgiving week last week, everybody when they get back to work, it's kind of like, got it, we're back to work or whatever. But
Right.
I don't know about you, but well, I do know about you. I kind of had to hit the ground. I kind of had to hit the ground running again because I sent out an email prior to Thanksgiving, just saying to all my contacts, my companies, the people that the candidates that I've had contact with, hey, happy Thanksgiving. Is there anything that's changed in your world? And I just literally got tens and tens of responses saying from companies, not from candidates. I got a couple candidates, but tens and tens of responses from companies saying, hey, we are still looking for project managers. We're still looking for estimators. We're still looking for superintendents. We're still looking for controllers, accounting people. I mean, I don't know about you, Shaun, but I feel like I'm busier than a cross-eyed cherry picker.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the same story, different day is really what it is, John, is everybody's in the same boat. It seems like every company that's growing right now, and if a company isn't hiring right now, I'm a little concerned about that company. I mean, it's unreal. It's a good problem. It's a good problem for us. It makes our services more in demand, 100%. That doesn't make our job any easier. It makes our job harder, which that's just part of it. That's just part of the nature of it. But yeah, there's a lot of opportunity out there right now. And we've said it before. Right now, if you're if you're a good employee, if you're good at your job, you have a ton of leverage right now. I can't think of a better time in the last. I've been recruiting for nearly 7 years. I can't think of a better time where the employee has as much leverage as they do now. Okay, and it's a great time to make a change. We've been saying this for the last couple months. But it is truly a great time to make a change. There's companies out there that are really focusing on their culture, really focusing on how to attract and maintain employees. And so if bonus time is coming around. For some of you, it might already be out there. So when you get that, what is that? The jolly of the month, or you get that jolly of the month.
The Jelly of the Month Club. Are you reading? Are you reading that off?
When you get your little, when you get your little ticket there, give us a call, because I know some of you will. Some of you are expecting a really good bonus, and unfortunately, you probably won't see what you're expecting. We hear it all the time. So, yeah. What else is going on, Johnny?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. This is just a great example. And the reality of the culture right now, the reality of the United States of America is that we have low unemployment rates locally in some different areas.
Right.
And we have high needs. And you might say, a lot of people I talk to, they say, well, shoot, I never knew there was this many jobs. I never knew there was this many jobs out there. This many companies looking to hire, this many companies that are urgent to hire. And basic economics tells you, if you've got a high level of companies that are urgent to hire and a low level of available candidates, that's the leverage we're talking about. Companies are more aggressive about bringing on good candidates, and they're more aggressive about how they structure their commission, their fees and their commissions and everything else. Their their salaries. I shouldn't say their fees, but they're more aggressive about grabbing onto those candidates as quickly as possible. And that's what gives a candidate the leverage that they need to have. And the reality, Shaun, is that I think you're right. I mean, this time of year, we see it all the time. And if you're listening right now, Mom, I mean, no.
Hey, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Thank you for watching. If you're a candidate right now, and in the past you've had this situation, and you're just hoping and crossing your fingers that it's a different situation, if you don't get the things that have been promised you, bonuses, percentages, if your company's not being transparent, they're saying, oh, we didn't make any money this year. That's another good one. Or your bonus shrinks because the supply chain sucks, right? The metal's costing more, the studs are costing more, the drywall's costing more. If you're in a paint company, the paint is costing more. And by the way, it is costing more because paint is petroleum based. So, with the oil prices rising, and but companies are trying to save money so that they can make sure
That's so branded.
that the owners got, they get their piece, right? If you see your owner driving up in a Lamborghini and he said he can't afford your bonus, they probably spent the money in the wrong place.
Yeah.
That's, and by the way, I'm not attacking companies, right? Most of the companies that we work with, Shaun, they're full of integrity, right? That we like working with companies that are full of integrity. They do what they say that they're going to do. They pay their bonuses. They don't cut corners to try to line their own pockets. I mean, everybody's in business to make a profit, absolutely, positively. But good companies know this. They know that their money is made by their frontline employees, by the project managers running the projects, by the estimators estimating the projects, by the superintendents bringing the projects in. The companies are the money is earned by those people. The money is not earned by the bean counters. The money is not earned by the people, and that's not who's earning. At GPAC, Shaun, we have a unique situation, right? The managers, the people that are above us understand that we are the people that make the money. So in reality, it's flipped. They are there to serve us and to accentuate, what we do. And that's the kind of attitude that companies need to have to be able to hold on to their employees. And those are the kind of companies that we represent. We represent companies that have that type of culture, that understand that the employees make the business. And so, yes, employees, you have awesome leverage, but you also have awesome opportunity to find a company that's really culturally more awesome than what you have right now. So I don't know. It's not a pitch, man. I'm not saying a pitch. I'm just saying, Shaun, I'm agreeing with you. Leverage. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think, and just going back to the point of, I'm a big believer that we only get one chance at this life. So if you're going to a job, or you're working at a place that isn't fulfilling, it's more of a burden than actually having fun and enjoying what you're doing. Why the heck would you stay there for any amount of money, for any reason? Why would you stay there and just put yourself through that? And so there's that caveat to it as well, is that some people might be paid well. They might, they might have a short commute, but for whatever reason, the company they work for it's just not the right place for them. And so I want to encourage, professionals in the industry that are just not fulfilled with what they're doing. They're not happy with the company they're working for. Maybe they don't like the projects. They don't like the owner. They don't like the people, whatever it is. I don't know. There's a what's the word? Plethora? Is that like that? That's a word like a doctor would use, right?
Yeah. Plethora. Yep.
Plethora. There we go.
Do you even know what a plethora is?
Yeah, so there's a number of reasons. I'll speak to that. There's a number of reasons why someone would be unhappy, but don't sit around and just put yourself through that, even though you've been doing it for a long time. Right now is a great time to make a change. And John, I think we're both at a point in our career where where we can kind of be picky with the companies we work with. Not kind of, we are very, very picky because we have hundreds of clients across the country, and we get to kind of dictate who we represent and who we don't represent, and we're okay with that. So a lot of the companies that we work with, like John said, they're full of integrity. They treat their people well. They're just good, solid. A lot of them are mid-sized companies. They're just a really good mid-sized company where you kind of got the family feel. There's that flexibility there. I don't know. And it's kind of funny. Like every company that I would say, John, and maybe you can quote me if you can let me know if I'm wrong. 70 to 80% of the companies that we represent never post a job posting.
Right.
They don't put it out there for a number of reasons, but they just don't do it. So if you're a person who's out there, you're looking on Indeed or Monster, hey, that's great. Nothing wrong with that. I would caution away from actually sending your stuff on that. But you have to understand this is that a lot of employers do not even put their needs up there. They don't even put it up there. So don't think that just what you see online is the truth. Actually, there's probably 70 or 80% more jobs in different companies that aren't even putting their stuff out there that only John and I know about, or a few other select recruiters in the industry know about. So,
well, and Shaun, and here's the thing. I want to emphasize what you just said. The worst thing you can do on Thanksgiving weekend is or Christmas weekend, or your holidays coming up.
Yep.
Is to sit on job boards and apply to the jobs. I want you to think about this. If you can paint a picture of what that looks like in your mind, close your eyes and imagine this. Imagine 1,000 other people with the exact same skills, talents, and abilities, and all the resumes look the same, applying to that same job that's probably not even open, and hoping and sitting and waiting back. And we hear this all the time. Yeah, I applied, but I never heard anything back from them. Well, why didn't you hear anything back from them? Because you're in a stack of 1,000 other resumes. And that's what happens on Indeed. That's what happens on these online job postings. The second thing that happens with Indeed and these online job postings, and by the way, this is for you people that are hiring as well. You hiring authorities, listen to me, listen to this. If this is not the case, I don't know what is. I use job postings. I have probably 350 job postings out there that are active right now, today. And every one of those job postings, now I don't go and update those job postings. That's number one. Number two, I get probably 10, 12 resumes a day. Probably, I probably get, over a 30-day period, I probably get well over 300 resumes in a month. And out of the 300, Shaun, how many do you think are garbage? They have nothing to do.
298. 298. 299. Probably 299. Yeah, and
so the benefit of a good recruiter, employers, is that we are doing that job of sifting through those resumes. Guys, listen, if you don't hear from me in a week or 2 weeks, it's because I'm sifting through resumes and looking at these resumes and saving you all that time going through that problem. And for you employees, for you candidates, that's the same thing. Here's what we do. Instead of the stack of 1,000 resumes of people that are exactly the same, what we do is we take one resume, yours, and we market your background to the hiring authorities that we know are going to hire. We walk it in virtually, present your background verbally to the people that are making the decisions. And that is the advantage of using a recruiter. So if you're in drywall, commercial paint, HVAC, electrical, roofing, stucco, waterproofing. We've got a fantastic waterproofing opportunity in Atlanta, Georgia, by the way. Waterproofing, concrete restoration, any specialty contracting field. Listen, if you want your resume to sit on the desk of the person making the decision, you need to call Shaun and John. That's what you need to do, because otherwise it's just floating out there.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're hit on so many points, man. And, we haven't been on these coffee talks for a while, but, there's a tremendous amount of value that we can bring to someone who's confidentially looking to make a change. And one thing that you said that really, I guess that just kind of hit at home was we're focused. We understand what, the people that we represent, the professionals that we represent, we understand what they're looking for. And we're able to take a very, very targeted, confidential approach to get them into companies that specifically make sense with their specific background, their specific needs, their specific wants.
Yes.
And it's a really, really honestly, like an amazing opportunity to be able to represent people in that way. So, and also, on the company side is that, and John, I think this is where we hit the ball off the cover. And yes, I am patting ourselves on our back because we know what the hell we're doing, is that we're so specialized in the industries that we work in, is that we know exactly, we almost pretty much know what our clients need before they even say it. There's a few, we know what our clients are looking for. We understand the industries that we work in. And so we don't have to spend 45 minutes on the phone to take a job order, or, to get an understanding of what you're looking for. Usually we can do it in 10 or 15 minutes just because we're so fluent in the process, in the understanding. And between John and I, we have 11 years of experience in it. And so we already know. I mean, I just want to go back. Great time to make a change and a great time to hire right now.
Well, right. And so I want to save everybody time. I want to save everybody time. And I also want to save you your job. The other reason that the worst thing you can do is in applying using Indeed and not using a recruiter, Shaun, is, and this is true, this really happened. You know our buddy, that you have insurance with, DR, right?
Uh-huh.
So and he'll confirm this story. But I had a resume on Indeed because I was always, kind of curious about what was out there. And Indeed automatically updates your resume so that you get from our side, we see it as an updated resume. You may not have ever touched it, but
right.
It's updated. Anyway, our friend DR, I was working for him at the time, and he got my resume sent to him from Indeed, and he loved the background. And so he paid money to see who it was that was looking for work. And it happened to be me. So two things that happened there that you need to be aware of. Your companies, believe me, right now, your companies are looking for good qualified project managers, estimators, superintendents, CEOs, CFOs, whoever, and they're using Indeed to do that.
Right.
And your background is being used to market to them, for them to purchase Indeed resume so that they can look at who it is.
So it's simple as this. Indeed does not keep you confidential.
No confidentiality.
It's simple as that.
Recruiters keep you confidential. How do we do that? We never, ever, ever, ever send your resume to a company that has not signed our agreement. We never send your resume without your permission. Shaun, do you talk to candidates like this all the time? I talk to candidates all the time that say to me, I have no idea where my resume is right now. I don't know who has it. I have no clue.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I mean, And here's the other thing is that, we're not encouraging people to get reckless in their job search because if you're good at what you do, if you're bad at what you do, you maybe have still a little bit of leverage, but if you're good at what you do, you do have a lot of leverage in the job market right now. But that doesn't mean you should get reckless. You should be actually more selective. You should be actually more selective with what you're looking to do and with what you're looking to accomplish in your life.
That's a great point.
Yeah. So
that's a great point.
I just always, I sound like a broken record, but don't be stuck in a position at a company where there's no growth. You're not getting paid for what you deserve. You're not getting treated well. Philip Thornton asked a question, John. Philip Thornton asked, "Do you know if ZipRecruiter does the same thing as Indeed?" And I'll answer, and then I'll let Johnny answer this. I'm not. We don't use ZipRecruiter. I have used it in the past, and so what I do know about ZipRecruiter, Philip, is that if you're a job seeker and your information goes in there, they put that into a database. Because when I was using it for the short period of time, and John and I actually shared it, we were able to access that database, and then we could dial in a search for candidates with a specific background. I would imagine if ZipRecruiter does not do what Indeed does, it wouldn't make sense. So like almost all of like your ZipRecruiter, your Indeed, your Monster, Career Builder, employers can set up emails to get to them with specific keywords for specific positions. So my assumption, and John, I'll let you jump in. My assumption, Philip, is that it 100% does what Indeed does.
Well, Shaun is almost 100% correct there. What ZipRecruiter is what's called an amalgamator. So in other words, what they do is that they actually use a, I don't know what it's called in the cyber world, but they use a metric that searches for keywords from all the other online job search recruiters, right? So they pull from Indeed, they pull from Career Builder, they pull from Monster, and ZipRecruiter pulls all those resumes in from the different companies. They're an amalgamator.
Yep.
And they do the same thing that Indeed does in this. ZipRecruiter pulls, let's say ZipRecruiter pulls Philip's resume into their system, and they see the term, and I know that this term isn't in yours, Phil. We've been talking. It pulls in drywall as a name. Now every drywall company inside of a 60-mile radius is going to get Philip's resume, all the information on there except for Philip's name. And if they're a member of ZipRecruiter, they're going to have Philip's name and phone number, and Philip's going to get a phone call. So ZipRecruiter is a company that actually actively takes that term drywall, Shaun, and sends those resumes from all those other companies directly to a company that's signed up with ZipRecruiter, just because the word drywall is in there. And again, so Shaun, when we were using ZipRecruiter, we'd get a ton of, we type in an area and we get a ton of resumes, and we get on the phone and call those people. The ones that even look halfway decent, most of them just they had the word drywall in there, but they weren't drywall. They weren't commercial drywall. They were a residential guy that patched drywall, whatever. But we go through those and we call those people, and they'd say, I never put myself on ZipRecruiter. I never updated my resume. I'm very happy where I'm at right now, and they get kind of hinky about it, kind of afraid about it. So best advice, hire a recruiter. When I say hire a recruiter, Philip, using a recruiter is free to you. It takes a few minutes of your time. It takes you being respectful of us, respectful of our time, answering questions, answering phone calls, that we make to you. But it doesn't cost you anything, and it can win you everything, Philip, and anybody else that's listening right now. Using a recruiter is the most efficient way you can get to finding a job and to being placed in the right job. Not just, I like what Shaun was saying earlier. Now is the time to be selective as well, to find that perfect right job for you. Now is the time. The job that's going to give you the flexibility that you want, the work-life balance that you want, the location that you want, the career trajectory that you want, the commission structure that you want, the benefits that you want, all those things that you want. A company that is in urgent need, that's over a barrel, is going to give you those things to come on board with them. Because and so you need to be as selective as possible. And the way that you can be as selective as possible is to be in contact with those hiring authorities that are truly looking and truly urgent.
Yeah.
So,
And also, it's important to remember if you're a job seeker, you have to have realistic expectations when it comes to salary or other things. So we're not saying, hey, if you're an employee, if you're good at your job, you can go out there and just ask for whatever the hell you want, and
that's
you can,
not what we're saying.
That's not what we're saying at all. There's still a framework of realistic expectations that you have to operate in. So, yeah. So I don't.
Let me just.
No, it's fine. Just butt right in. It's fine.
That's a great point. Yeah. It's like the 15 irrefutable laws of leadership. And one of the books that I read, one of the books I coach out of, talks about I have a dream. I want to be a shortstop for the Minnesota Twins. Right? Yeah. But I don't have the physical capability to do that. I would never be able to be a shortstop for the Minnesota Twins. Okay. In the same way, and Shaun, we talk to a lot of people that say, I work with the GC. I know about drywall because I've overseen drywall before. Well, no, you don't. And then the same thing, the reverse. I'm a drywaller and I want to go work for a GC as an estimator. Well, there's what Shaun, 30 other specialties or 30 other scopes that you have to know to estimate. It's not just, you can't just live in a fantasy land. Nowadays, that's a lot more likely to happen than it was even a year ago. Right. But you got to have realistic expectations as to what you can do. Shaun, we got about a couple minutes left. I want you to tell us about your most urgent opportunity that's out there right now.
Oh man. Well, I'm going to go to our, we don't have a big network in waterproofing and concrete restoration, but I'll bring it up. So we have an urgent need in the Atlanta, actually north and east of Atlanta. So it's not in Atlanta. It's probably in a suburb north of Atlanta with a tremendous company. They're looking for what I would call probably more of just an experienced sales project manager, someone to be a potential leader of the office. So this is for a waterproofing concrete restoration contractor. So I would look at someone, and you have to have experience. If you don't have experience in that, there's not a dang thing I can do for you. So they're doing like big commercial projects, parking decks, hotels, the concrete restoration on those, and the waterproofing. So we need. I'll take a look at an estimator. I'll take a look at a vice president of operations. I'll take a look at a project manager. Anybody that has the knowledge and the skill set in that specific industry, there's a tremendous amount of opportunity for growth with this company. And outside of that, I just like the people that run the company are just awesome. Like they're just like the owner of the company is just a great, solid dude. If I didn't work at GPAC, I would go out to Georgia and work for him. Like I'm not even. I wouldn't even know what the hell I would do. I'd probably just go work out in the field just to be a part of the team. So it's a great opportunity. Obviously in the drywall side, there's so much on that side that it's hard to even articulate if you're a good drywall estimator with on-screen takeoff and quick bid and drywall estimator project manager. I don't care if you're a chief estimator, if you're 1 year of experience in the industry, just reach out. We'll probably be able to hook you up with some jobs.
Well, yeah, shoot, Shaun, I'm going to name 4 cities: Tampa, Washington, D.C., Boston, Massachusetts,
Charleston,
Southeast, Southeast Bay Area, California, Charleston, Knoxville,
Tennessee.
If you're in any of those areas right now, I can promise you this: if you're halfway decent, if you've got on-screen takeoff and quick bid, you've been in the industry for a couple years, you've bid projects up and over $1 million, even if you've been close, and you have a willingness to learn, a willingness to work, a good attitude about working with a team, I can promise you that in any one of those cities, I can get, well, except for Charleston and Knoxville, on any one of those cities, I can get you 3 interviews. 3 telephone interviews, guaranteed. If you called me today and you've got a decent background in drywall, I promise you I could get you 3 interviews.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's just the reality, guys. So, hey, man, we appreciate our audience. Thanks, Mom, for watching.
Thanks, Mom.
Hey, and thanks, honey. My wife, you know, she watches too. She's the one. How about you, Shaun? Does your wife stop by and watch what you're doing out here?
No, she's too busy taking care of her
She's too
kids.
busy. I'm sure James reaches out and touches the camera and touches the computer.
We'll get him on here one of these mornings.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for watching. We're gonna try to get back on a regular schedule. You know, starting next week. It's been crazy for the holidays, but whatever you do right now, today, I want you, everybody that's watching, I want you to have a great day.